If you're a fan of The Lord of the Rings and love to play video games, then there is no way you haven't heard about Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This game was released in 2014 and it was nominated and has won multiple awards including the Game of the Year. It's quite unfortunate that the story is not canon to the movies, but the references in the game still managed to satisfy the expectations of most of the fans. But what was so special about Shadow of Mordor? And with the game almost a decade old, is it too late for new players to try? Especially those who are not familiar with the books and movies. The Shadow of Mordor follows the medieval fantasy formula, a combination that is still very effective at attracting a lot of players even today. Add the open world environment and role-playing elements and you have a very promising game. Think of the Elder Scrolls and The Witcher as prime examples, but with a much shorter story. The game follows the story of Talion, a ranger of Gondor that was stationed at the Black Gate. He and his family were killed by the Black Hand of Sauron when the Uruks attacked. Powerless against the enemies, Talion accepted his fate thinking he'd rejoin his family in the afterlife. Unfortunately, he was then brought back to life by Celebrimbor, a powerful wraith whose past is shrouded in mystery.
See for yourself.
Driven by Talion's thirst for vengeance and Celebrimbor's quest to recover his memory,
Go back to me.
they join forces to try and defeat the Uruks of Mordor and stop Sauron from getting back to his full strength. You have 3 weapons at your disposal: the sword and the dagger for melee attacks, and the bow for ranged combat. All of the weapons have slots on them and you can enchant them with runes to add special effects. Upgrading your weapons will unlock additional slots so you can have different combinations of runes. Remember that the higher the level of the runes, the better the effect. Just choose the ones that fit your playstyle to greatly benefit from them. Thanks to Celebrimbor's Wraith Form, you also possess magical abilities that you can use against your enemies. To minimize spoilers on this video, I have a more detailed explanation on skills and abilities that you can watch if you click on the link above. The game features a hit streak mechanic. Every time you charge your hit streak counter, you will be able to perform melee attacks that can instantly eliminate orcs or deal massive damage to captains and war chieftains. There is also the Elf Shot mechanic that lets you use certain skills while you're in Wraith Form. Each attack with the bow will require 1 Elf Shot and some skills will require 2 to activate. Speaking of skills, there are 2 skill trees that can be unlocked and completed if you do a little grinding. You'll be able to earn enough points by finishing all of the side quests and challenges and acquiring all of the collectibles on the map. This way you won't have to worry about min-maxing as you'll become pretty overpowered when you reach the latter parts of the story.
Nani here, Gelar Mordor.
Stealth has always been a fun mechanic in a game. Despite the similarities to other titles such as the Batman and Assassin's Creed franchises, Shadow of Mordor was still able to provide a unique experience due to its setting and environment. It offers different ways you can stealth kill and also features structures which you can climb and hang onto. From eliminating enemies one by one to infiltrating a stronghold unnoticed, the game is able to make use of stealth to its full potential. It just depends on your creativity and how you want to approach your objective. Fueled by his desire to avenge his family, Talion's fighting style shows his rage and anger towards the Uruks. If you like acrobatic executions and don't mind the sight of a little blood and gore, then you will definitely enjoy this game. Any enemy that crosses his blade either gets brutally stabbed or violently decapitated. Combine that with the kill cam and you have a cinematic slow motion that will definitely leave you satisfied and wanting more. As mentioned earlier, all of the upgrades can be acquired. You will be able to use and test all of the skills and choose what works best for your playstyle. There are also other upgrades that will improve existing skills that can make you even more dangerous for Uruks. Stat points are non-existent in the game. You can only increase your health, stamina or focus, and the number of elf shots you have. Another element about the game that is worth mentioning is its sound design and soundtrack. Even though some may say that the writing is nothing to write home about, the voice and acting definitely made up for it, especially during the one-liners the Uruk say from time to time.
I'm alone, you idiot! Say hello to my friends! Finally! Show me what you got, little Tark! Let's make this fun!
I think it's safe to say that the overall ambience of the game, to the slicing and screeching sound every time an attack connects, were really well made. And who wouldn't get hyped when you hear this kind of music during a captain or a war chieftain introduction? It gives you that scary tune that makes the enemy very intimidating. Also, those epic chants that always say the name of the Uruk you're fighting is a great attention to detail. Perhaps one of the best gameplay mechanic ever created is the Nemesis System.
Dead man! You're a scrawny one! This gonna be easy!
A feature that makes the gaming experience unique for each player as it adds unpredictability and non-scripted storytelling outside the questline's narrative. To put it simply, the system generates orcs that are different from one another, from their names to their appearances to their personalities and down to their strengths and weaknesses. That's why gathering intel in this game is important, as it gives you an advantage on how to deal with the enemy you are facing. The system also analyzes the data on how you interact with Sauron's army. For example, if you let an enemy escape, the next time you encounter them, their appearance could have changed due to the scars you inflicted on the last battle.
I'm not staying around for this! Another day!
Sometimes they even acquire strength or weakness that can make them a harder or easier opponent. They will even say a line referencing the last encounter.
Rotten cheat stuck me with fire last time you did, but not this time.
Another instance is when an orc was able to kill you.
Ha! I may even get promoted again for this.
They get promoted as their level increases and could gain bodyguards or followers, making it harder for you to kill them. All of the decisions and interactions you make will have an impact on the enemy's hierarchy and could create alliances, betrayals, or power struggles. This makes the game feel alive and give that fresh feel every time you encounter captains and war chieftains, and it also helps boost Shadow of Mordor's replayability.
Your strange witchery doesn't matter. I'll just kill you again.
The Nemesis system was further improved in the sequel Shadow of War, but that will be discussed in the future. As for the graphical aspects of the game, the whole video showcases how this game that was released back in 2014 looks like today. Surely, with newer, more powerful hardware and systems, reaching the 60 frames per second on ultra settings won't be much of a problem. I'll let you decide if what you've seen here matches your standards and preferences. To wrap things up, The Shadow of Mordor is a blend of action-adventure in a compelling open world full of lore. It provides engaging combat and of course the exclusive Nemesis system that will make your exploration enjoyable and worthwhile. One can say that this game has aged well and is definitely worth playing if you haven't already.
You will obey me! Hear me? Die!
And I guess that's it for this video. If you haven't already, consider hitting the like and subscribe button so we can create more content like this. For those who are still here at the end of the video, what was the funniest line you've ever heard from an Uruk? Just leave it in the comments and I hope you'll have a great day. I'll be seeing you later. I am your Tito Gamer.